Hello, welcome to Operation Reorganization by Closet Factory.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today because we have a fantastic story about a friend of mine, Kevin Paasch, who works for Mass Mutual and who's done many projects with us, including 3 or 4 homes, closets, and other areas in his home. But this time he called us about doing a space in his business. So this space is on the 11th floor of a high-rise building. It overlooks the city, spectacular sunsets, and Kevin really wanted to take this space and set it up for clients who come in for parties and for meetings and spend some time enjoying the view. And you know, in Kevin fashion, he's an architect by trade. He had already designed it all out, had everything spec'd out that he wanted us to do. And so he sent me pictures and said, hey, can you do something like this? Well, I immediately handed it to Carol and let Carol work with Kevin to design this really neat wine and liquor storage area. And so it was a challenge because I don't think we'd really done anything like that before with the materials, the design, the lighting. There were a lot of aspects to this job that were really unique. And I got to give Carol all the credit in the world because she pulled it off and just did a fantastic job. This is really a unique episode, showcases our ability to do really specialized stuff, and I think you're really going to enjoy the show.
Hey, my name's Kevin Paasch. I'm the president and CEO of Mass Mutual Commonwealth here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. In 2016, we went through a complete total renovation, and when we did the renovation, we gutted the whole floor, and we started back from the subfloor all the way to the deck above. So we have about 21,000 square feet that we completely renovated. So part of our team went up to the 16th floor, and we renovated half of it. And they came back down to their new space, and everybody else went back upstairs to the 16th floor, and we finished up the second half. This is my baby. So actually my degree is architecture from Virginia Tech. Back in 1988, I practiced as an architect for about 3.5 years, and I really got tired of talking to my pencil. That was pre-CAD. And sitting there talking to my pencil, I really said, this is probably getting boring. I gotta go take my AIA, or I can do something else. So one of the things when we redid this whole space, as again I said, my degree is architecture, I really started investigating what does kind of the current workspace look like? How do we actually build it out in such a way that makes it more friendly, makes it more airy, and gets the natural light to come in? So I started thinking about it, and I said, you know, we all go search out our own neighborhoods. And when we think about our neighborhoods, I gotta have my starter house, then I have my middle-level house, then I got my, my pre-retirement house, then I have my retirement house. So we actually built this whole space around the theme of having a neighborhood. So what we do is when we bring our new advisors in, we put them into Shadow Lawn. So Shadow Lawn is kind of that new up and coming kind of neighborhood here in Virginia Beach. And we have another neighborhood called the North End, which is kind of the people that want to be in jeans and flip-flops and a collared shirt when they come into the office. Then we have kind of the older style where I went the cherry wood kind of desks, where we built that around Bay Colony because that's been a long established neighborhood. And then the newer neighborhood, which is Church Point, which is kind of a hodgepodge of a little bit of everybody. So I grew up in a neighborhood here in Virginia Beach called Allenton and Baycliff. So I have kind of a little kind of neat section. So it originally started out as Allenton and Baycliff, but now it's kind of migrated to the new space called Society 11. So Society 11, we started out trying to build around a theme and a concept for education and casual atmosphere for our clients and our prospects. So what we try to do with the Society 11 space is make it a little bit more cool. So the 11 comes from the 11th floor, but the Society is it makes it, we want to kind of make a little unique experience. So it's cool, casual, and comfortable, but it gives you a learning experience. We also have the opportunity to craft some cocktails. So community orientation, it's really passionate as part of our organization. Every year we sponsor every quarter somebody's event, somebody's activity. So passionately to me, both my mom and my dad passed away from Alzheimer's. So we've been a very big advocate for the Alzheimer's Association. We participate with the Boys and Girls Club. We participate with Neptune Festival. Gosh, I can't even begin to tell you all the different events and activities we participate in on a day-to-day basis. But if we actually total it up, somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million a year that we actually contribute back to the state of Virginia. We love using a lot of our local community partners, and we do partner with a lot of people. Obviously, Closet Factory is one of them. We wanted to bring them into the fold and make sure that that Closet Factory could participate in the rest of the build out post the major renovation. So interesting thing, my CPA, who's now retired, introduced me to the owner of Closet Factory. My wife's got clothes coming out of the closets like there's no tomorrow. And I said, hey, can you come figure out how to solve the problem with my wife? So he came over and he did some renovation work, and so we worked through that. We also worked through some entertainment center to make our living room a little bit more functional. And from there, gosh, that was 2005, and I think we did some work in 2008, 2012, 2015, 16, and now again in 2020. So they've done a fantastic job, and I love them to death. We called on Closet Factory when I knew that we were building out Society 11. There's nobody else said I was even going to pick up the phone and call. We kind of created this war room, and the war room just wasn't working. It turned out just filling up nothing but junk, just like every closet, right? Every closet always fills up with junk, and it really becomes to an unfunctional space. So we also heard about another one of our offices up in New York that created a similar kind of vibe in a cool space. Society 11 now starts to come together, and that's when we called Closet Factory to come in. I found some design, and I said, hey, can we kind of create something similar to this? And lo and behold, it came out to be a really cool place. Carol was fantastic. I mean, she came in, we sat down for the first hour or so, kind of looked through the space. They took the measurements, and then we kind of showed the space and kind of where I wanted it to go. And so she then came back with kind of the initial design. We then modified the design a little bit. Then we picked the colors, and she brought in all this whole spectrum of colors. And the nice thing is we picked out some pretty neat colors that kind of tie the whole office space into the unique look and feel for what we're doing in Society 11. So we wanted to have an open space where the clients and prospects were going to be looking at more of a softer, fun feel that feels like they were maybe sitting in a bar. And the other way, they could actually look in from Virginia Beach to downtown Norfolk, so we could see some cool sunsets. And so we wanted to be all the same space, but we wanted to be open and fun and feel like a space that they would say, you know what, I could come back here and enjoy a cocktail or an appetizer in the future. The install was great. Juan is just a fantastic guy. He's done all my installs so far, so I have to tell the Closet Factory they got to send Juan, otherwise I'm not doing business with him. So he's been great. He came in, all his equipment came in, he swept up, he brought the vacuum, kept everything clean. When he left at night, it was as if he was never even there. And I got to tell you, I'm really excited. Carol's coming in today, and she's not seen the space. Obviously, we're in the COVID world that we're living in today, so pretty much everything's shut down since March. Now we're in October, and it's so fantastic to know that we can have Carol come in. She can check out the space. We can go kind of tour through the whole space. And when we're done, we're gonna have a little cocktail party. Closet Factory is all in all. Again, I've been using them for 15 years. They are absolutely my favorite group of people to work with. The whole team is just spectacular, all the way from the owner down to the people that are doing the install. So I'll use and recommend Closet Factory anytime.
Hi, I'm Carol DeBacco, Senior Design Consultant with Closet Factory. Today I'm at Mass Mutual to meet with Kevin Paasch to see a design that we actually installed back in February that I was unable to come out and see the completed project because of all the COVID stuff. So I'm very excited to be here, and I can't wait to go back to see it all done. I'm going to put my mask on and get my temperature taken, and then we'll take a walk back. Hi.
Carol, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Hey Carol, welcome to the space you help us design.
Oh, Kevin, it looks so good.
It is pretty fantastic. We've had a great time so far. So over here, what we did is our counter. So this counter is really designed that we can set some bar stools if we want to kind of sit here and look the sunset. But it's also so we can set it up so we can have some appetizers and hors d'oeuvres set up for our clients and our advisors. But the challenge we kind of ran into is, we have the window that goes floor to ceiling, so you guys had to come in and help out with kind of blocking the sunlight.
Protect that and protect the ladies from sitting there from.
Yep. Absolutely. Then over here, this is kind of my favorite little thing that we have. It's
Never seen anything.
It's a smoker that we can actually put a little smoke on top of our cocktails as we craft some cocktails. So it's a pretty neat, unique little piece. And then the next spot we have is actually kind of our bar area where we set it up to mix some drinks. So this is where we do our crafting of our cocktails. So for those that don't want crafted cocktails, we can certainly set up some Chardonnay or Cabernet. And we've got some extra glasses up at top, some glasses here. And then we have many of our other glasses for our cocktails.
So is it working so far as what you're storing?
Absolutely.
You feel like it's meeting the needs?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think the only thing that we probably missed was just what are we going to do with the beer glasses? But everybody seems to be fine having them set up.
You know, we almost could do a floating,
yeah.
maybe just a floating shelf, so you have something to get them up off the counter.
Yep, absolutely. Then we got our drawers and our storage, so it works out perfectly. Our little under cabinet refrigerator. So everything's really nice and concise inside here. So that way over here we can actually take care of our client meeting and have the other stuff behind us as we go through.
So with all the COVID and stuff going on, have you been able to use the space like you envisioned, or is it kind of?
We haven't quite gotten as much as we wanted, but the cool thing is last week we just had our first event and we had 8 people sitting at the table, and we did a little presentation and did a little crafting cocktails on some rye whiskey tasting. So
and you didn't invite me.
We didn't invite you, I'm sorry. But this, for you and me, we weren't invited because it was under 30 crowd, and they didn't want the grandparents coming along, at least from my standpoint.
I got you. So how do you like the lighting? That's the first time we've ever used it.
The lighting's fantastic. So when we first set up the project, I really wanted to build in some digital LED lighting, and Juan, he did a fantastic job building it in. So it worked out fantastic. I love having it against the clear bottles and the white bottles. Certainly, we can change it to different colors in there as well with the remotes that you guys left behind. So we have these things to help us as well to change the colors. But blue's kind of my favorite.
Remember that.
Green's my second favorite, but blue is kind of the color of our firm. So.
Well, that's cool, and it's neat that you can change the colors with it being the RGB. Yeah. That's the technology where you can mix and blend the colors, so you can get purple and other colors besides the red.
Sure, absolutely. But one of the other things that I think was important to me when we went through the design is I just didn't want a standard kind of white. I wanted to create a little contrast of color.
Right.
So when you brought the color chips in, we kind of picked out this kind of white wood that kind of matched the our table over here. But also I wanted to have some silver that kind of brought the colors in from the rest of our firm. So we had some of the silver and some of the black. So we did a good job bringing the black and the kind of the whitewashed along with the silver wood and tying it all together. So,
right. Yeah, I think it looks awesome. I would have, before you said anything about all the color differences, I would have been, well, it's a lot of color going on, but it works. It works great. I think because of the black foundation, and then tying it all together with something simple, but a little bit more elegant, I guess.
Yep. Well, as I told you, the handles are up to you.
So that's what
I gave you kind of the concept, and you did a great job bringing it back to us.
So it's a good thing you liked them.
Yep.
All right, Kevin, so I'm excited to see the other side.
All right, let's go check it out. Come on.
Let's take a look at the other room.
All right, sounds great. Let's check it out. So what we have is on this side, it's kind of set up on 2 sides of the room. And on this side, what we wanted to try to create when I first started chatting with you about it is wanted to create some space for some wine. I also wanted to create some space for some liquor bottles, but also needed a top shelf so that some of my advisors can't come in and reach up to the high level. So I wanted to set the top shelf stuff up.
I think if they want it bad enough, they'll be reaching it.
Yeah, but they got to produce more in order to get to the top shelf. But
you're here right now. To get there, you got to do this.
Absolutely. So you notice there's not as many bottles because I can't afford all the expensive stuff up there. But in all seriousness, we set it up so that, again, to kind of follow the color scheme, what we did over on the other side, to make sure we had the blacks and the silvers and a little bit of the whitewash color. So it's really turned out great. So when we chatted about the kind of design, we decided we were going to mirror it. But before we did that, what I wanted to do is I wanted to tie it together. And so as a result, when we tied it together, we actually took the silver counter from in there and we brought it in. So this could actually be a small little seating area or a place that we can obviously store some additional liquor for people.
I got to tell you, this is probably one of the most challenging spaces I've ever done. This alone was challenging to figure out. I mean, the height had to be, of course, at the right height to cover, to clear everything. And it's a void under there, obviously. But so we had to make it structurally sound for somebody to sit on if they wanted to sit on it.
Yep.
But besides that, the lighting, getting the lighting, Juan was going to choke me.
Juan was definitely engaged in the how do we get this thing all put together. But as you can tell, he did a great job getting it so we can get the wine bottles set up. And we have all the the different liquor bottles.
and how we were going to handle it, getting
Yep.
from one cabinet to another, and
Yep.
then the fact that we're in a steel building, a high-rise.
Yep.
So we had to go up with the cords to get it to tie into the other side.
Sure.
But then one way to make the units more stable, because they are boxes more or less hung on the wall, we added the backing, which gave it another color.
Yep. Yeah, as opposed to just with standard drywall,
Right.
white color.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to be able to pop it from the front and into the back of the fixture. Or the-
Yeah.
the
And
cabinets.
it kind of gave us another opportunity to add more more squares, because you can see it doesn't cover everything. It's blocked out in certain areas. On the other side, it's not all the way at the top.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice when the way you have the little wire covers that went from space to space and connected them together. So Juan did a great job, again, not making it all linear, but kind of moved it around so that we created the different special angles. And one thing that we found, though, is it was really cool with some of the lighting, but we actually were able to find some other cool little pieces. So you can see
Oh, that's cute.
that we added a couple extra little blue lights that kind of tie into the loop. So that way we can kind of set them up under some of the bottles, and particularly when the sun sets, you really get a nice blue hue that comes in. But again, we got the nice bottles that are set up at the higher level, and I think you guys did a fantastic job. It certainly made a lot more fun space, and it's certainly the talking point of the office. People get really excited when they come in. They're like, "Wow, this is pretty cool."
It is pretty cool. It makes everybody want to work here.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if everybody works when they're here, but they certainly have to work in order to do it. So it's only after 5:30 the room comes in.
Well,
So.
it's a great place, and I know you had something to do with the design of the entire office space out here.
Yeah, we did.
It's very
But
nice.
the cool thing about this thing for me too personally is the nice thing that actually I can just come right over from my office. So if it's been a long day, I certainly have the option to come in straight from my office, come in here. And,
That's kind of close proximity for
so
me.
it's kind of my workman cave. So. But anyhow, well, you guys did a great job. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you letting me do it. So before I came here, I was actually I know you've been doing Closet Factory projects forever, but I wanted to see when you actually started your first one. It was in 2005.
Wow, was it that
And
long ago?
Yes, it was with
Seems
James.
like yesterday.
It was with James,
Yeah,
who is
okay.
now an architect, I believe. I don't know what he's doing, but he was with Closet Factory for a while. And it was all done by hand. All the drawings and everything was done by hand. I have the plans. But since then, you did projects in 2012, 2015,
I don't know.
2016.
We've done closets, we've done bathrooms,
Yeah.
we've done
Entertainment
kitchens,
center.
we've done entertainment centers, 3 or 4 different houses
Yeah.
from Virginia Beach to Williamsburg.
Yes.
And so we've sent Closet Factory all around Hampton Roads.
Yeah, and Juan knows you well.
Yep.
He prefers to be on your jobs.
And we prefer Juan too. Never had another person, but Juan does.
Oh,
great.
yeah, that's why.
Yeah. So they did our house over off of Chicks Beach. They did the house over here off Middle Plantation. We've done a house up in Williamsburg. Can't remember if Closet Factory did some work maybe up in my office in Williamsburg, but maybe
I
some
believe
there.
so, the home office.
Yeah.
Not a
so,
not a commercial one, but a home
Yeah.
office. I saw it.
Yeah. So again, you guys have done a fantastic job. I can't thank you enough. So how about we take you out for a little special treat? It's called a drink.
I'm on board.
All right, let's go. FDR was the governor of the state of New York. In the early 1900s, my great-grandfather was the Secretary of Agriculture in the early 1900s. So I have a picture of him with my great-grandfather standing next to the, I don't know what kind of car it was back in the early 1900s. But anyhow, so he's maybe a Studebaker or something like that. But anyhow, so my FDR was in the car, my great-grandfather was standing next to him as they're kind of taking down a parade. I don't know if it was a parade like a Macy's, day parade or something. But yeah, so I have that, and I also have a picture of my great-grandfather. I have my great-grandfather's typewriter when he was an attorney in Port Warwick, New York, and I have his typewriter and his letterhead. Wow. And I have his glasses and all kinds of good stuff. Then we bought a piece of property, he bought a piece of property from the state of New York, but it's still part of our family. Part of our family. Fair enough. Part of our family still owns that piece of property, and we found musket balls and arrowheads from the French and Indian War that occurred at Fort Ticonderoga. Wow. Thanks, guys, for coming to Society 11 and visit with our wonderful sunset that we have every evening. But most importantly, we do want to throw a cheers out to Carol and Closet Factory. So cheers, great job on the project. Well done.
Thank you. So I have to say this has probably been my favorite project of everything I've done with Closet Factory. It was so different and out of the box and very unexpected for a workplace. I hope Kevin's as happy with the outcome as I am. And I guess that's it. So I'm off to the next project.
While this looks great on camera, it looks even better in person. I had a chance to go out and see it. It looks fabulous.
This was a great feature for Closet Factory, and we're so glad it turned out so well. Thank you for watching.